Hey there, welcome to the Intentional Academy podcast, where we believe that life is best when it is lived on purpose. If you want help finding time for what matters most, launching your dream career, and building a prosperous future, then you should visit us at intentionalacademy.com. I'm your host, Tony Farrar, joined by your co-host, Justin Thomas, and we are thrilled that you are tuning in, and for whatever reason, my voice just broke. Hey there, Justin.
Hey, Tony, how's it going?
Today, we are helping you answer one of the most nerve-wracking job interview questions out there. What are your strengths and weaknesses?
Okay, Tony, so I'm going into my job interview and I get the question, what are your strengths and what are your weaknesses? How would you go about answering that?
They're not easy questions.
Not at all.
Right? We want to showcase talent, but we struggle with the fact that we don't want to come off boastful, or maybe we're not very sure of ourselves. We have no idea what they're looking for.
Yeah, what kind of weakness makes me look good, you know?
Right? Oh, I just care too much, darn it.
I'm a perfectionist. Is that a strength or a weakness? And I just I consider it a weakness in some areas.
Sometimes I struggle with working too many hours because I just can't stop until it's right.
Exactly.
Got a theory that there are two different kinds of skills out there. Technical skills and professional skills. Technical skills are the niche-specific things that you need to do a specific job. So engineers have to learn physics equations and model and design systems. Marketers need to do things like learning about customers and create product messaging. The point is, technical skills are something that you're probably learning in your classes in college. This is what they focus on because they hire subject matter experts and have them come in, create classes, and they teach you all these technical skills. This is what you need to know how to do if you're going to have a career in this field. Professional skills, on the other hand, are the skills that are required to do any job. Things like honesty and passion, leadership, maybe public speaking. They kind of tangentially teach some of this stuff at school, but I haven't seen very many opportunities for students to go through the classes. That's actually a big motivator behind why we created the Intentional Academy.
Well, a lot of it is indirect, right? A lot of it is when you're tasked with a group project, indirectly you're learning how to, work with a group of people and not by yourself. When you're tasked with creating a presentation and presenting in front of your colleagues and faculty, you're learning presentation skills, you're learning public speaking, things like that. But nothing is taught to you discreetly of exactly what's the best way to go about doing that. There's also some strengths that aren't directly related to job skills, professional skills at all, but it helps convey who you are as a person. It paints a picture of how you would fit within the organization itself. For example, charity work, community outreach, missions with your church, any volunteering, tutoring. Tutoring is big in the engineering world. I know where I work, they've had a lot of involvement with First Robotics, which is a young kids group where they start learning robotic skills and engineering skills in the STEM fields and things like that. But tutoring any subject matter is it shows leadership and character.
I think that that's really important too, because when you graduate, you're all kind of the same. I mean, don't get me wrong, we're all individuals, we're all special people, and we all have unique things that we bring to the table, but the unique things aren't on the technical side. We all go through the same curriculum. We all kind of learn the same stuff, with the exception of maybe a couple of electives. Trust me when I tell you, your 3 technical electives are not making you an expert in anything. We're all going to show up with the ability to do entry-level work in our field. And so what Justin's talking about here is actually really critical, because a big question that they're asking when they interview you isn't, are you technically capable of doing this work? Because the answer is, yeah, everybody they interview. The thing that they are looking for is, do you fit here? Do you fit our mission? Do you fit our culture? Are you fired up about this? Do I want to see you on a Monday morning after my favorite football team loses?
Do I want to be at work on a Monday morning after my favorite football team loses? I'm just saying.
Fact. And so I think that's a big part of it, right? Is that when you are looking at what is it that I can tell them about myself that can be showcased as a strength or even as a weakness, I suppose, you want them to see a little bit of your personality, your character. This isn't just let's rattle off the bullet list of the 15 things that some website about careers tells us are the important things. We want to show who you really are. And some places are going to be turned off by that, and that's good because now you don't have to wear a mask every day when you go to work.
Oh, well.
Corona, I hate you.
That's really funny.
Too soon?
No, I mean, no. We in this day and age, any comedy is appreciated. Like, if we can make light of the situation, it's appreciated.
Consider it lighter. You want to go work somewhere where you get to actually be you, because then you're not butting your head against their system all day. So, a big part of what we would recommend as preparing to answer that interview question is learn the culture. Show up already knowing a little bit about what it is they do. And by the way, if you're doing what we teach, you'll already have relationships with some of your potential colleagues at these places that you're interviewing. And so you'll be able to learn what they're looking for, and you'll actually be able to just grow into being a good fit for the places you want to be at by asking them.
Yeah, check out their social media. I'm sure if they are involved in their community or involved in any sort of charity, charitable giving, I guarantee that their marketing firm has made sure that that is upfront, because that builds their brand. It shows it brand recognition and character and everything like that.
And it's just really important because, like I said, they are hunting for people who are sold out for the mission, not people who can show up and punch the buttons, because there's an almost countless supply of people who can do that at an entry-level position these days.
So now we've established what we're good at, but how do I basically open my heart and lay down what I'm not good at professionally without making me look terrible, you know?
Yeah, that's always the concern. I think the answer is you can't. Not directly. You cannot list a weakness that makes you look good, or else it wouldn't be a weakness, right? It would be a strength.
And they see through that in the interview process.
Yeah. So stop hunting for something that isn't there. Stop trying to put lipstick on a pig. Instead, what you want to do is be able to show them what you are. And if what you are is a reflective person who is continuously focused on growth, now your weakness is a strength. If you don't feel confident, say, in doing public speaking, say so. I don't feel confident getting in front of a large group of people and giving a presentation. However, I've been working on that, and here's how. Or it shows them that you're reflecting on where you're good and where you aren't. That's very desirable, right? Situational awareness is huge these days. But then it leaves you also as a person that they know once they hire you, you're not just going to show up and punch the clock.
And public speaking specifically, I know that back one of my first jobs, there was a local organization called Toastmasters that regularly got together, and basically what you would do is you would put together a speech and you would deliver it in front of people, and they would critique you. So it was a way for you to learn confidence, learn how to deliver information, things like that. So there's something for all of these weaknesses. I'm sure there's somewhere you could go to better yourself.
Right. One that a lot of people lack is leadership. And there is so much out there for leadership development. Your organization might even offer it when you show up, but you could definitely go, join a leadership team or something like that at your school or local organization. Justin mentioned that it's important to talk about the places you volunteer. Don't just volunteer to be the grunt. Volunteer to be the leader, even if you don't think you'll be any good at it. The stakes are high, but not as high as they would be at your job.
But yes, I've taken multiple leadership classes within the Navy structure, and they've been really eye-opening on aspects that you don't think about with regards to empathy towards people and how to interact with different types of people. You learn personality traits. You take a test to learn your personality traits. There's a lot of good stuff out there, and your employer is looking to grow you not just as the cogwheel that turns, but as a contributing member to the team in a complete sense.
Wow, that's really interesting. That makes me wonder if maybe a good tactic during that question is to say, a few of the things that I'm trying to grow in right now are, list them off, leadership, public speaking, whatever. What is your organization doing to support its people as they try and grow into that?
That's awesome.
What's your mentorship program look like?
That's awesome. Wow.
put it back in their court that you're showing up, you're willing to do the work.
And they always ask you, what questions do you have for us? Well, there's a very good one that I would have never thought of that relates to the weaknesses and shows that you're willing to grow and you're willing to put in the time. I mean, that's great.
Justin, I've got this theory that we actually have a moral obligation to do everything we can to convince somebody to hire us.
Absolutely.
That if you don't show up and kick serious tail at this interview, that you are robbing this organization. Why? Because we teach people to find places that they actually know they can make a difference, and then they deserve to have that benefit. You owe them the option, or you're robbing them of the benefit that they would have by thriving with you on their team. So don't be afraid of looking bad. Weakness isn't weakness, it's growth potential. Don't be afraid of looking boastful. You got to show them what it is you're good at. And so we want you to reflect on your strengths and weaknesses and then build a plan that helps you grow your strengths and your weaknesses and leverage those to make a difference somewhere.
So how do you answer the questions, what is your strengths and weaknesses when you go into an interview? Share a few professional and a few technical skills that you feel you're confident in, and maybe some aspects that you're working on, something that you're trying to, gain confidence in. Maybe it's a weakness now, and hopefully in the future you can list it as one of your strengths.
There you go. And we think you have this. You got this. And we also know we can help. Tune in next week for one of my favorite pep talks ever. We're going to show you why, even in this job market, you deserve to be picky about where you work. In fact, it might just be the best strategy out there for actually landing a job.
And as always, this show is here to support you. If you have a question that you'd like us to answer, head over to intentionalacademy.com/podcast and send us a message. If you found value in this episode, leave us a review on the podcast app of your choice. Don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss a thing. We share bonus episodes that only subscribers will hear about. And lastly, please share this episode with someone who you think could use this information.
Thanks a lot, everybody. Have a great week.
Have a good one.